Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am a Jen who reads, and this is going to be my January reading wrap-up vlog style. I am going to try to do something a little bit different this month for my January reading wrap-up. Right now, it's not even 6 o'clock in the morning on January 9th. Hopefully this will be the last video with the Christmas tree behind me, even though I'm going to miss it. I'm going to do this January reading wrap-up video a little bit different. I'm going to do it more of a vlog style where I'm going to update you throughout the month. And I got the inspiration from this from Ian Gubeli and Melody Reads, and I will link their channels down below. So I'll see you at my next update. Good morning. Just a quick update before I go to work. Today is January 11th, and so far this is what I have read for the month. I read and completed City of Bones, which is the first book in the Mortal Instruments series. This is my second time reading this, but it's been probably a good 9 years since I read it. I didn't remember anything about this book going into it, and then as I was reading it, I remembered and remembered and remembered. I enjoyed it. It kept my attention. It definitely makes me want to read the second book. However, my only critique of this was just that the writing was pretty juvenile. So as Cassandra Clare goes on, as I read more of her backlist and more of her newer stuff, I hope that I see her writing get a little bit more refined. On my Kindle, I read Same Time Next Year by Tessa Bailey. This is a novella that was an Amazon original, so it's only on Kindle as far as I know. From what I hear, it was supposed to just be really, really short, and as she was writing, she just said, I can't make this as short as you want me to make it. I have to make it a little longer. So they came to a compromise. I think it's about 120 pages or something like that. So the premise is there is a woman who works in a bar, and her half-brother is on a minor league hockey team. And one of the players on the hockey team is in jeopardy of being kicked out of the country. They need somebody to marry him so he can get his green card. So they petition his stepsister or his half-sister, and she will be paid $50,000 if she marries him. And she needs the $50,000 because she wants to buy out the bar. She wants to become a partner in the bar. So they do have this arrangement, but it's strictly platonic, and I'm sure you can probably figure out where it goes from there. My only critique of this book was that it was not longer. However, in the short amount of time that Tessa Bailey had, the short amount of pages, she really packed in a punch. And it's only beginning of January. We're not even 2 weeks into January. And I think I may have found my 2024 book boyfriend in Sumner Mayfield. This book was so cute. I just loved it. Again, there hasn't been anything by Tessa Bailey that I have not liked. Let's see. I am making headway on Outlander. I think I'm about 130 pages in right now. It's the newest Outlander. Go tell the bee. Don't tell the bees that I'm gone, or go tell the bees that I am gone. I know I'm not going to finish that this month, so I'm just sort of taking my time with it. It's the last book that she has out. I don't know when the next one's coming, so I'm just dragging my feet because I love the Outlander series so much. So I'm making progress, but I'm doing it slowly on purpose. And let's see, at school I started, I say school, but I mean work, because I work at a school. So I'm a middle school teacher, and I try to read middle school books, middle grade books while I'm at work. So I picked up Magnus Chase. So this is a Rick Riordan book. I just finished sorry if my camera is moving, my dogs are having their morning zoomies. So I read the first 2 series in the Percy Jackson, and I'm going to be honest with you, I loved them. 5 stars, whatever. But I was getting a little tired of Greek mythology. So far, I am having a better time reading this just because it's something different. I don't know very much at all about Norse mythology. And so between this and watching my boyfriend play Assassin's Creed Valhalla every night, I'm going to be an expert on Norse mythology. So far this one's going really well. And then the book I'm reading at home is Wayward. Sorry, these are dust jackets because I take them off when I read them. I have heard nothing but great things about this. I believe this won 2 awards in the Good Choice Awards for 2023. One of them was Best Debut Author. I'm not sure what the other one was, but I've had this for a while. So this also checks off my Book of the Month reading list. I'm trying to get through all the Book of the Months that I have for this year. So far, I'm about 120 pages in. I love this book so far. It follows 3 women. I can't remember the first one's name, but it starts with an A. And she lives in 1619, and she's a young woman, and she is on trial for witchcraft. And then it follows a 16-year-old girl named Violet. She lives in 1942, and she loves nature. She loves bugs. She loves climbing trees. Her mom has passed away when she was young. She doesn't remember her mom. Her dad very much wants her to be very feminine and proper young lady, so he is forbidding her to do any of this frivolities, as he calls them. And she's really struggling with that. And then we have our next woman in 2019 or 2015. Her name's Kate, and she is fleeing an abusive marriage. She inherited a cottage from a great aunt that she doesn't remember. And so she's staying there. And these 3 women are related. It's not direct relation. There's some, aunts and nieces things going on. But we're finding out that they have a lot of similarities. And I think that we're going to learn more and more how they're connected as we go on. So that's Wayward. So that is my January 11th reading update. And I can't wait to hop back on here and update you more in a week or so. Bye. Hello, book nerds. I am back with another reading update. So today is January 23rd, and it has been a great reading month for me so far. I've made a little bit more progress in Outlander. I've made a little bit more progress in my book that I'm reading when I'm at work, Magnus Chase. Speaking of work, I'm coming at you today from my classroom. So I have finished 2 books since the last time I have spoken to you. I finished Wayward, which was a 5-star read. It was a great book to read in the first month of the new year, and I highly recommend it. I just loved the way everybody's stories came together over the generations, and it was just a very empowering and heartwarming book, and I absolutely loved it. I also finished my very first manga, so I unexpectedly read Spy Family. One of my students had it, and I had mentioned that I had heard about it, so she let me borrow it. And while I really, really liked the story, I did realize that the manga style is not for me. But I also have the second one, so I will probably pick that one up. She did lend that one to me. So I will probably finish Spy Family, but I don't think that I'm going to pick up any other mangas. I think I'm going to just let that one lie. Hi, happy Sunday. I am up. It is about 7 o'clock in the morning. I have my drink. I am headed into church where I teach preschool on Sunday. But first I need batteries and fruit snacks, so I'm headed to Walmart. Of course, I had to check out the book section. Hey, welcome to my next reading update. I am sitting in the corner of my library with all of my dead plants behind me. And I am getting ready to do my very first, this is sort of like my test, my very first reading sprints on YouTube. I'm sort of learning the ropes a little bit. I have done a few on TikTok, and so tonight's going to be my first test run for YouTube. So reading updates. I have completed 2 books since the last time we talked. I read Christina Lauren's, let me adjust this a little bit. It's like a lot of, there we go. So I read Christina Lauren's Love and Other Words, and I loved it. I've loved everything that I've read by them so far, and I say them because Christina Lauren is 2 people. They're Christina and Lauren, and they write together. And the whole book, you knew that it was working up to something that happened, some disagreement, some blow up that happened between the main characters. And when we got to that point, I was a little bit disappointed because I didn't think that it was that big of a deal. But we still had, I don't know, maybe like 10-15% of the book left. So then when I found out what happened after that, then it made sense. Then it started to click. I thought that the characters were so cute. I loved how they bonded over books. And I loved how they would ask each other, what's your favorite word? And they would ask each other that over and over again through the span of a couple of years. And of course, it would always change, and depending on what they were feeling and what they were reading. So I gave that a solid 4 stars. And Christina Lauren does have something else coming out really soon. And I cannot wait to read everything that they have put out. The next book that I read was None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. And this is, I think, my 3rd book by Lisa Jewell. And I'm not much of a thriller reader because it takes a lot to shock me. Now, I can never see the ending coming. Like, I'm always sort of surprised by the twist. But it's very hard to make me shocked by the twist, if that makes any sense. And this one, no exception. You know, the twist happened and I was like, oh, okay. But what I really liked about this book, I gave it 3 stars. It was very mid. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. But what kept me reading it over, you know, what kept me coming back to it and reading it at a pretty fast pace was that the main character was so weird. And I just kept reading it just to see what she would do and what she would say and who she would offend. And it was written very well to the point where, like, it really did make me angry. In fact, she wasn't the only weird character, but that's all I'm going to say about that, because I think I'm going to do a video on it, a little reading vlog video, and I'm going to go over some stuff. There will be some sections that are non-spoilers, but then at the end there will be a section that is spoilers. And right now, this is what I'm working on. So for my reading sprint tonight, I am reading the 3rd Discworld book by Terry Pratchett. I am about 46 pages in right now. So far, I like this better than the first 2 books in the series. And then I did bring the book that I'm reading at work home with me just because I've been really busy and I haven't had a lot of opportunities to read this. And I'm about halfway done and I really want to finish it. This is Magnus Chase. And I really want to finish this before January 30th, because once January 30th hits, that's it. I'm not I'm not reading anything else till I'm done with Crescent City. I finally got my Libby app all straightened out, and so I was able to put some more audiobooks on hold, and one came in. So right now I am also listening to All Sinners Bleed by R.A. Cosby. And so far, so good. I will have a full review for you, though, at the very end of this video. So this will probably be my last update until the very end of the month or the beginning of February. And I'm really looking forward to looking back at my 24 goals for 24 and seeing the progress that I made. Did I read anything that was on that list? Did I make progress towards any goals that were on that list? And so far, the first month of 2024, from a reading aspect, has been really, really good. So until next time, happy reading. Very foggy this morning. It is officially the end of January, and it was such a great month for reading. Before I go any further, if you watched my January TBR video, I talked about a readathon that I was doing in January with Leandra, the TBR Zero, and she had some merch for sale, and all of the proceeds from the merch went to the American Library Association. And unfortunately, I could not find the shirt that I ordered at the time of filming, so I just had to wear something else, but it was in my closet all along. So I just wanted to show you. This is my TBR So Hard shirt that I got for Leandra, the TBR Zero's readathon in January. And so this is still available. I will link her down below. Since the last time we talked, I also completed Equal Rights by Terry Pratchett. This is the third book in the Discworld series, and it is the first book where it focuses on witches, and I really, really like this book. As I read Terry Pratchett, I feel like there's nothing compelling. There's nothing that's just pulling me back into reading the books. But when I finish the books and I look back at everything that I've read, I really enjoy where the story has taken me. So Equal Rights is about a wizard who knows he's going to die. Actually, he's going to die in 6 minutes. So he has to find the seventh son of a seventh son to pass his wizard magic to. However, because he is in a time crunch, he finds a blacksmith who is, I think, actually an eighth son. So he's like, all right, close enough. And as he enters the shop, the blacksmith shop, he finds out that this blacksmith has a baby being born at that very minute upstairs. And so once that baby is born, they bring him down so that the wizard can pass on his wizard magic to this seventh son of an eighth son. And after that is completed, after the baby has touched the staff and got in whatever wizard magic was transferred to him, we actually find out that it was a girl that was born. And so she grows up. They're trying to tamper her wizard magic. They're trying to make her into a witch. And that doesn't happen, and some craziness ensues. So I am looking forward to continuing my journey in Terry Pratchett's Discworld. And the one audiobook that I finished this month was S.A. Cosby's All Sinners Bleed. This was a very heavy book. I would definitely check trigger warnings. It does talk about some violence towards children. If you're looking for a mystery where you're going to be shocked at the end, the reveal at the end is going to just blow you away, this is not that type of a book. But if you are looking for a mystery where the sheriff of the town, you know, the main character, is a good person and he's doing everything that he can to solve these horrific crimes, and get introduced to all of these really creepy characters, this is the book for you. I listened to this on audio, like I said, and the voices, the narration was top notch. There was actually a section where we hear the killer talking on the phone, and I got goosebumps. It was so creepy. So S.A. Crosby's All Sinners Bleed. Let's talk about something I did not finish in January, and that is Magnus Chase. I am about 60% done with it right now, and at first I really loved it. I loved the switch from Greek mythology over to Norse mythology. But then the further that I got into it, I just felt like it was so much world building and hardly any plot. Almost the entire book is just explaining these gods. And I don't know if it's just because I'm really not familiar with Norse mythology and I'm so used to Greek mythology that it just sort of became a little bit overbearing, and I was having a hard time like concentrating on what was going on in the book. Needless to say, it's a very slow read. So I have not finished it yet. It is still at work. I will finish it sometime in February, I hope. Normally, if I disliked a book, I would not read anymore. I would stop the series. I would stop the book. But because I love Rick Riordan so much and I know what an amazing author he is, I'm pretty sure that as the series continues, it's going to get better. I think, though, that for February or whenever I finish Magnus Chase, I'm going to pick up another middle grade series to read and then come back to Magnus Chase at another time. For January, the two standout books were Wayward by Amelia Hart. I gave this a 5 stars. I absolutely loved this book. And Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I gave this a solid 4 stars. As far as my goals in 2024, these are all of the goals that I accomplished. I did a readathon because I'm trying to do a readathon every month for the entire year. I did reading sprints over on my TikTok, which is linked below. I finished not 1, but 2 of the book of the months on my shelf. However, I did just order 4 more to add to that. So that shelf is just going to grow no matter what. I made headway in my Rick Riordan read through, even though I didn't finish Magnus Chase. I made a little bit of progress on Outlander, and I finished 1 book in the Cassandra Clare's Mortal Instrument series. So I think overall it was a really good month. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would appreciate all your likes, comments, and subscribes. And as always, happy reading.